The Sociology Tutor here. We're going to talk you through the personal life perspective today. One of the most helpful theories that you can have in your back pocket to evaluate the three big theories: Marxism, Feminism and Functionalism. Personal life perspective argues that those three big theories make two crucial mistakes. Mistake number one is those theories are based on the nuclear family. They're older theories, and obviously when they were written, the nuclear family dominated societies, but we now live in a much more diverse society. We've obviously got a big range of family types: cohabitation, lone parent household, reconstituted step families, many examples. So they're essentially out of date. They don't focus on family diversity. They still assume we're all living in nuclear families. Just as a point of reference, 60% of families in the UK are nuclear. So it hasn't completely died out. It's still the most common family type for children to be raised in. The second big criticism: those three theories assume that the family is serving the sort of social structure in society, which means that individuals don't really have much choice. They're shaped by the social structure. They're learning to be obedient from a Marxist perspective. They're learning the value consensus from a functionalist, or they're learning patriarchal values from a feminist perspective. Personal life perspective is critical of that view. It argues that individuals have much more choice. We're not puppets on a string. We've got freedom to determine what we see as important, what values we're going to take from the family and what we won't. So for example, let's think of feminism. The social structure, according to feminists, is patriarchal. It's male dominated. The family's role in that is, of course, kids will grow up watching their parents behave in a certain way, and they'll learn patriarchal values themselves. So from the personal life perspective, individual family members have got much more choice and freedom. They may not necessarily lead a patriarchal life according to feminists. We've got choice. We can interpret our lives in our own ways. Those big three theories are known as top-down sociology. They start off with a big theory, and then they start describing society and the roles of family, education, religion based on their big theory. Personal life perspective is bottom up. It likes to start with what individuals see as important. Family from a personal life perspective is whatever individual family members define as family. So for example, the closest people in your life may be your pet, your best friend who lives around the corner, and it may not be the blood relatives in your family at all. You may not be close to them. And the personal life perspective really argues whatever individual members define as family is family, and that's how we should understand it. They argue individuals are not puppets shaped by a social structure, but we've got much more freedom. We've got much more free will to decide who we are, what we see as family, what messages we want to take, what messages we want to ignore in family life. One major advantage of this theory is that it rejects preset ideas that sociologists have, that families are nuclear and they all behave in a certain way. So the major benefit of personal life perspective is it understands the family in a way which allows for multiple different definitions of family life, which are common in today's society. However, the criticism of this is if you allow just about anything to be family, dead relatives, or even potentially imaginary friends or friends online, at what point are you no longer talking about family life? And in reality, for lots of people and many sociologists, blood ties are still the most important ties in family life. We can't ignore the significance of the people that we're related to by blood, that we spend the majority of our time with, certainly when we're younger. The other criticism that you can make of these theories is that there are still large patterns in family life. So for example, women still tend to do the majority of housework, even if they're working. So we can say that there's a clear pattern. It does seem that family life, disadvantages women. Now, someone from the personal life perspective would say, how do you know those women are unhappy about it? Look at the links below for more options, resources.